Hey guys, what's up? It's Jeff Winchester in the Catching Clinic, and I am joined today with Mr. Brett Sullivan of the Tampa Bay Rays organization. I'm so used to saying Devil Rays.
I know.
I grew up with Devil Rays.
I know.
No, I guess
It's weird that they were
anymore.
once Tampa Bay Devil Rays, now playing for just the.
Yeah.
I do like that old logo though a lot. I think
Yeah,
that
it
was
was pretty slick.
it was
You
good.
know, I grew up with the whole, Manta Ray.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But no, Brett, you're in town, visiting some friends over here, Blake Gutera over around the Lake Castle area, and just from us having a relationship with Blake and over the years, we had an opportunity to kind of catch up, and I was fascinated to really kind of get a new, fresh perspective on some of the catching philosophies that are circulating professional baseball right now, and so I really thoroughly enjoyed the few times that we've had to get a chance to talk a little bit about some of the different things that we're seeing nowadays, which the game's kind of evolved since I played 14 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like electronics. The game constantly
It's changing.
it updates, it constantly gets better, all this other stuff, and I really enjoyed our talk the other day about the receiving side of things. I have always been one guy that has been noticing this trend of the catching side knee drop to free up the idea of being able to receive,
Work more pitches.
get a little bit lower, work up more so than starting high and working down. And then you shed some light on a topic that, quite honestly, I never fully understood, but with your perspective, it kind of makes a little bit of sense about, the right knee down when it comes down to setting yourself up to throw.
Yeah.
How was that, and how is that transition for you? How is that coming along, and how recent is that for you as far as learning that new technique?
Well, just to start, it's just how you said how much has changed just in the past 5 years. When I started pro ball, we were catching one way. Now it's the complete 180. So the left knee down receiving has been a thing for a long time. The right down, it is the first year for me. So I would say just in the off season and in spring training was the first time I really was doing it on the field, in and out. And I think that's where it starts. It starts in the bullpen, just being comfortable enough to catch the pitches with this knee down. Then it transitions into your work in the when you're catching, your work of just getting the footwork and then going into in and out, and just feeling that you can throw from there and trust it, because when you do it right, the times are going to be faster. It's just, can you trust it during the game? And that's a whole different game, you know what I mean? So
now, you demoed to us the other day when Coop was in here working with you that you're reading the base runner, and if you anticipate a steal, you're one way.
Yes.
But if he doesn't steal,
I open it, kick it out. Yeah.
Can you kind of show our people what you're talking about right there?
So, I think as a catcher and as a baseball player, we know which guys are fast, or we should know which guys on the opposing team are fast and can run. So each time as a catcher, we have 1,000 things going through our mind, and one of them is this the right situation where that guy is going to steal? And if it is, then when we go knee down, we're going to set up this knee down with this one out in front a little bit, so our shoulders are already
Bring the camera up. Let's show this.
So it's going to be we're essentially just cheating. So this shoulder is going to be here, so when we do go, we're already in this position to throw, instead of being here and then we're catching and turn this way. So it's just a little cheat where if you do think he's going to go, you're going to be right here. It's just a little, you're already low, your shoulders are already turned, where all it is a catch and throw. And then, like he said about reading it, where we start right here, and if he doesn't go, because the argument is because this arm could get caught with this leg. Well, if he doesn't go, then you just kick it out, and again, it frees you up for all the pitches in here to work those balls into the zone and get them strikes. So
and that was always the one worry that I had.
Yeah.
You know, trying to conceptualize switching your
Yeah.
legs and having this knee up, I always was just, I said, well, this is the way that you want to be able to receive with
Yeah.
this hand and not have this leg be.
because if it's over here, you're caught.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it would always like, well, why would we want it to back
Yeah.
and bring this leg up? But understanding your concept of being able to get low and into this
Yeah.
leg so that you can pop up
Yeah.
and take off. To me, I can see
Yeah.
where that plays a big advantage in that. You know,
To
'cause
yeah.
you're able to stay low,
Yep.
and if he doesn't go, you can get that pitch.
Yes.
But in the same sense, if he does, you're in
Yeah.
a fairly strong position.
Yeah.
to
And I
pop
think
up.
like if you do it correctly, the way we throw, we don't throw like this. We throw with our shoulders this way.
Sure.
So if you do it correctly, we're catching it already about to throw. So the times will be quicker. It's just something you have to practice. The first time it has to be in a bullpen where you're catching and it's just a practice. And then you take it onto the field, and then when you're comfortable enough, it goes into the game.
Right.
And then again, when he doesn't go, it's just this leg just goes out a little bit. It's a very calm, very relaxed move. We're not rushed. So the game slows down for you when you're doing that. And for me, it just gives me such a better opportunity to receive the 50-50 balls that we want to work into the zone.
Yeah.
So
The other big thing too, and we had a little discussion about this, is being able to get into certain positions based off of the pitcher
Yeah.
and their movement.
yes.
Such a big thing, and
Yeah.
I try to stress to my young guys how important it is to know your pitcher,
Yeah.
know your staff. I mean, there are times where a lot of the young players now with showcase ball, travel ball, you may show up to a team
And have
and
no
you
idea.
don't know who
No
this
one.
guy
Yeah.
is, okay.
Hey,
So-
this is so and so. Good luck.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Hey, how are you doing? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's go catch 4 innings.
Yeah.
And you don't know.
Yep.
There are other instances. I mean, high school teams,
Yeah.
obviously, you have an opportunity to know and learn your
Yeah.
staff, learn their movement, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. How important to you, as you work in your way up
Yeah.
through the Rays organization, knowing the guys that you're catching and movement, because of what it allows you to do
Yeah.
as far as functionality behind a plate, like what we talked about.
Yeah.
Where are you learning those guys the most?
The biggest thing is knowing your pitcher. Like for me, I use a bunch of different stances, and all those stances are dictated by who's on the mound. What can I do? Can I cheat one way? Does he miss always this way? So for me, it always starts with them throwing bullpens, the flat grounds. I'm always catchers. We're catching a lot in the game, but you have to catch those bullpens to understand. Where do they miss? What are their tendencies? Are they quick? Are they slow to the plate? I make time just to catch extra bullpens just to figure out what they do.
Yeah.
Because then in the game, it slows down for me saying, this righty, when we go to this side, he might not be able to get out there, and he leaves it on this side of the plate a little more. So then I won't shade this far over. I'll just shade a little bit, knowing I still can compete with this pitch as well as get this pitch that we're going for. And then other times you have a guy who has unbelievable control. If we're going in, I'll set up really in an angle so this ball looks like it's on the plate. So it's just knowing who is on the mound. And sometimes I'll get called up. I'll not know who he is. The first time he throws in the game and I meet him on the mound, hey, how you doing? What do you have?
Yeah.
And with those guys, you just have to feel out, stay more on the plate. But knowing your pitcher is going to make you a way better catcher, and knowing where he puts his off-speed pitches and then where he misses. Those are the biggest two things that you need to know, because if you can compete on where he misses, then you're going to really be in a better position,
Yeah. Now, in regards to some of these guys, I know you've had the opportunity to catch some guys that throw gas.
Yeah.
Who are some of the guys that you've caught that throw the hardest, and what do you have to prepare for when you get those guys that are hitting 99, 100,
Yeah.
so on and so forth? How do you prepare for something like that?
Yeah. So, well, all the guys on the Rays I've caught, so I'm sure over half of them throw 100. So just to name those guys, but for those guys, it's before you start trying to work pitches with those guys, you have to know what their ball does, because you can't just sit there and say, you know, who's on mound, Blake Snell, or just guys in the minors. It's like you have to know what's his fastball do, and where to you to set up. That's the first question you should ask a pitcher when you're catching him. Where do you want me to these pitches? Where do you like my glove? Glove matter, or are you not looking at that at all? And then once you figure it out, then you can anticipate, and you got to anticipate with those guys because they throw so hard. So for me, I'm anticipating with those fastballs where it is, because if not, they're going to beat me and my glove's going to rattle, and then they're not happy because I lost them a strike.
Sure.
So it goes into a lot of preparation of knowing what they have, where they're going to throw it, and then anticipating and beating that ball. That's a big, wordage we use, or whatever that is, beating the baseball. And by that, we're getting to the spot before it and then working it to the plate so it looks like a strike. We're not catching it and then working it. We're working it before, during, and after. So it's very smooth. Our glove isn't going like this. It's the whole time like that on all these pitches.
And I really, really appreciated what you said the other day in regards to before, during, after receiving the ball. Give us a little bit of a breakdown on what that concept is like before, during, and after, and how you guys go about working away. I like the idea of that little kind of movement, that pre-movement, and bam, we're working all the way back in.
That was, someone told me that. One of my buddies told me that. He's another catcher, and it really made sense to me, because I had a problem of catching the ball and then trying to pull it back, and that doesn't look that good. You know, you're getting beat and then trying to pull it back. So when he said it before, so that's gonna, basically what that's meaning is, if this pitch is a ball or two under the zone of that square, right, that electronic strike zone, I'm showing my target, I put it down, and then I am working the ball. So I'm working it before I catch it, working it during I catch it, and then after. So it's a smooth, it's just boom. Now that ball that's right here looks like I caught it right here, instead of catch and bring it up. It's just all one fluid movement. And then if the ball is over here, we're staying tight right here. We're not getting we're getting around it and then moving it. If it's a ball out, we're moving it a ball back. And over here, if it's a ball out, we're moving it a ball back. So everything is just very subtle, tight movements, strong with this right here. It's not more.
Strong with that, but loose with the wrist.
Loose with the wrist, strong right, boom, right there.
You still want to be able to handle that 97 plus, soft to where you're not catching with frying pan.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That ball's popping out. I like what you said earlier. Now your pitcher's upset because
you lost a strike.
He nailed his spot and then kind of, and then all of a sudden now you're.
And you never know with those one or two pitches that you might get beat on. That could, change it, flip the count, change the game, change that bat, change the game. So
it's not always, you could very easily take the course of action by missing a few pitches here and there.
And then you can do it by getting those pitches. And that helps out a ton. So
we also hit on the idea of trying to catch the ball close to your body and working from here to here.
With throwing.
Now, I've always been an advocate of when we're going to throw, we want to engage that scapula. Right? We want to get to that point to where we're creating that platform for the rotator cuff to function as it goes through its motion. Now, in the years that I've been working with kids, you know, our big thing was to try to get to this position, this strong position here.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point the other day, and there are times where I've worked with kids that have a tendency, I've heard this term used, flail, where they get way back there.
Yeah.
Because the natural tendency and natural motion is to want to draw back
Yeah.
even more. Well, you were saying, you know, hey, keep your hand right here.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to throw
Yep.
from this position because you'll naturally want to engage that scapula, bring that back, get into a strong throwing position, and recoil and fire out there. I thought that was a good piece of information, because you do have those kids that sometimes when they go back, they want to draw that way back.
And then if it's, you know, if it gets caught too far back here, really the only thing it's going to be, you know, up the line where that second baseman or shortstop's going right into the runner, or you're going to pull it. For us, we want to just be as quick and consistent as possible.
Right.
So and like we talked about the other day, was you're playing in the minor leagues and the major leagues 100 to 40 to 162 games, where if I'm back here throwing, that's on my shoulder, that's hurting my shoulder all the time.
Yep.
So what we really are focusing on is exchanging the ball in the middle of our body when it is like you know, a strike, just we're exchanging it right here.
Yep.
If it is over here, we're trying to get it as quick as we can into our hand and throw from there. Because naturally, if I get it into my hand right here and throw, you're going to say I'm crazy. But when you turn and that thing's here, you naturally, it's just going to get back.
Yep.
And so that's going to be the easiest on your arm, and then the quickest as well, the transfer to release.
Awesome. So I was doing a little stat checking.
Yep.
Right. And
can't hide anything now these days.
No, actually not. My 14-year-old reminds me that I was one of the Rockies' 7th worst busts, according to some article a while back. But at the end of the day, you rake. You rake, dude. I mean, you're almost pretty much 300 hitter for your career. And my question is, you a better hitter or a better catcher?
I would say better hitter.
Yeah.
It's been a work in progress to get to a point where, you're very confident catching. For me, I was a infielder growing up and then being converted. So I think I'm at a point now where I'm, very comfortable knowing, what type of catcher I am and what my strengths are, and then the weaknesses to work on. But I would definitely say hitting is fun.
This is another topic that we brought up the other day when we were talking. And I don't mean to make this a little too long-winded, but it is a platform that I preach from every day, all day long. You said it yourself. You were an infielder, converted into a catcher. My gosh, I mean, plucking at my heartstrings right here, because the message that I sent to the overwhelming majority of the kids that I work with, the kids I know, even kids I don't work with, friends of my sons, you've got to be multifaceted.
Have to.
You have to be.
There
is no way that you can go play this baseball game and say, I'm a shortstop. I'm just a shortstop.
That's not true.
I mean,
there's maybe 10 of them. They're
like the 0.0001% of the population that can say, I'm just this, I will only be this, so on and so forth. I mean, there are so many local examples of how guys that were, certain position in high school, they got to the next level, and it was like, brother, if you want a uniform, you can play somewhere else. Because I got this guy over here who's he's just that much quicker, or he's just that much better than you were. And man, if you don't know how to be a baseball player first, specialist last, you keyhole yourself. And you're a prime example of this. Like, you're a guy who's athletic enough that when push came to shove, it was like, hey, you want an opportunity to get to the big leagues? Be
wherever.
Be a guy who can get behind the be a guy who can play. You were telling me the other day, one of your first big league call games in spring training, you were at third base.
First base.
First base.
Yeah,
okay,
and then a couple games later, went from first base to third base, and it had been 5 years since I took a ground ball.
Yeah.
At third base, it had been 25 years since I took a ground ball at first base. But if you aren't able to play multiple positions, then you're limiting yourself. The more, what I say is the more hats you can wear, meaning the more positions you can play, the more you're going to be in the lineup. And if you do get to the next level and you are a shortstop or a center fielder and you're not comfortable playing left field, right field, or as an infielder, second, third, or first, like you're keyholing yourself and you're not going to be in the lineup because there's a million shortstops and everyone goes in as a shortstop. And you know, the more comfortable you are playing the outfield, the infield, the more you're going to be in the lineup, the better baseball player you're going to be. And then you're learning the game as well. It's slowing down for you. And that's the biggest thing is the game. If you can slow down, slow your heart rate, and everything's just calm, like you're a better baseball player. For me, this year, I played infield for a short season, and then I caught for 4 years. And then one day they said, you're playing left field tomorrow. And I was like, oh. Like at first I was like, oh crap. But then I thought, well, I played outfield, you know, my whole life growing up, so I'm not first fly ball, just, you know, like riding a bike.
Yeah.
And then when they said you're playing first, I never played first in my life, but I knew I took ground balls. So the first ground ball, just natural athleticism, I fielded it, and then it was like, all right, what do I do? But I ran to the base and tagged him out. But because, you know, whatever. But you did it, and then they said, hey, you're going to third. Who has a third base glove? Yeah. I grabbed it, and then, you know, not even gonna lie, you're a little nervous, especially when like every major league coach is there and other teams, and but you gotta say, I want them to hit me the ball, because if they don't, you can't show them you can do it.
Right.
So I was like, please hit me a ground ball. Hopefully it's a 1 or 2 hopper that it's not an in-between hop and eat me up. And lucky enough, you get a little chopper that you just go and get and throw them out.
I'm so glad you said that, because just the other day I was trying to tell one of my clients, you know, a lot of guys, the thing that separates them is their mentality in the moment.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is there's 2 types of players. When the game's on the line, there's the player that's like, I can't wait to show this entire state how good I am.
Yeah.
Give me the ball.
Yeah.
Or the other guy is, man, I hope I don't mess up.
Yep.
I'm going to let my team down. I'm going to let my coach down.
Yeah.
I'm going to let my fans down, my mom, dad down, this, that, and the other. Just let me get by without having to make a mistake. And, you know, I think those 2 mentalities are the difference makers between your true elite players. Yeah. And I say elite, that term gets played out over and over again. Everybody seems to be an elite player. But the truth is like those high percentage, low percentage guys that are like the 1% of the population, guys that get to those highest levels, that's their mentality. Yeah. You know, whereas the guys that have the great talent and the skill set,
maybe shy away from that, the big moments.
The confidence of trying to be that guy that can make that play. You just said it yourself. You're like, man, everybody's watching. Hit me a ground ball.
Yeah.
Show
if I didn't get a ground ball, if that player doesn't get a play, they're like, oh, well, he just went there and stood there. Like maybe he can't play that position. We don't know. But if you've taken, you know, your ground balls, your fly balls, you work on catching, then you put in the work. You say, let me get a fly ball and run it down in the gap. Let me get a ground ball and just show I can do it. Or let me get a low pitch and I show them I can receive that pitch. Like, if you don't have that mindset, then you make it. You gotta want the ball. You gotta want to show everyone I can do this. It's not, you're not being cocky, or it's just you're confident that you put the work in, and then you want to show everyone I put the work in, and I can do this, and I'm a good baseball player.
Well, Brett, listen, I appreciate your time. I know you got to get on the road. You're heading out right now, but I thoroughly enjoyed our time together, and I know there's a lot of people watching right now that can pick up a lot of quality pearls from our conversation. So I'm going to give you the quarantine fist pump.
There we go.
I think we did a good job.
Yeah, we
stood
stood,
6 feet apart the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, but for what it's worth, I hope the season gets cranking soon. We need some baseball in our life right now. It's been way too long. We're starting to get the shakes.
Yeah,
But,
I'm too.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap things up here. This is Jeff Winchester, the Catching Clinic, sounding off. Stay caught up.